Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, whatever part of the world you're currently watching our video blog and podcasts. Face Economics Podcast is the utilization of the social media platform in economic development worldwide. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mina, author of the Face Economics concept, as well as the producer of the content for the Face Economics concept in itself. So, I'm currently within walking distance, actually, from Ukraine. I'm not going to disclose my exact location, but I am within proximity to Ukraine. And, I've just been trying to pay attention to the overall situation in the country, in Ukraine, and also looking for any indicator regarding Mr. Gonzalo Lira's current status. Haven't heard anything on the news or within the social media environment regarding his overall status, and so I thought I'd revisit that. I also would like to send a message to Mr. Zalensky regarding his American prisoner of war. Would like to urge Mr. Zalensky to release his American prisoner of war, his Hispanic-American prisoner of war, and let him be with his family this coming holiday season. Thanksgiving is just right around the corner, as well as Christmas, and I'm 100% positive that his Hispanic family, he is of Hispanic-American background. I'm pretty sure they would want to have him around for the holiday season. So I would like to urge Mr. Zalensky to go ahead and please release Mr. Gonzalo Lira, Mr. Zalensky, to release Mr. Gonzalo Lira from your prison in Ukraine. Would like to also inform the American public regarding this whole situation where Mr. Gonzalo Lira had basically reviewed the overall situation in Ukraine and had, raised some concerns. It was, pretty normal. I don't see anything malicious regarding what he's done. Anybody has the right and, freedom to review, governments, regardless of what the overall situation in the government system is. Every single person is allowed to review the structure and the overall activity of government in a democratic society. Most of y'all probably understand that Ukraine is not a part of the NATO community, and it's not a part of the European Union market community either. And they do want to ascend into a more democratic system of government and more democratic, civilization. Therefore, if that is their intention, then they need to start acting like a democracy. They need to start treating people equally, and they need to, be more transparent if that is what they want it to become eventually. With that said, as I mentioned previously, the holiday season is just right around the corner, and I would like to implore and request for the Zalensky government to please release your American prisoner of war, Mr. Gonzalo Lira. He has done nothing to deserve, the iron fist treatment that he's having to deal with in Ukraine. Billions and billions of U.S. tax dollars are being funneled into the Ukrainian government, may it be aid, may it be weaponry, and all sorts of funding has been sent over to Ukraine, even though Ukraine is not directly connected to the U.S. It has no, direct relationship with America or any of the European Union member countries or NATO member countries. So we're here to help them. We're basically wanting to support those that are, being affected by this ongoing war that could have been prevented. But we will not, tolerate any government that is not directly related to America to persecute our citizens. They are not allowed to just impose any form of iron-fisted type of reprimand on an American citizen who's just simply voiced their concern and reviewed a system of a government, especially if a government is of, if they're looking to become a democracy, or if they're already a existing democracy, there's definitely no reason for them to hold on to a citizen, regardless of a country. It just so happened that this person, particularly Mr. Gonzalo Lira, is of Hispanic-American background. And yes, so what? I mean, why is he treated differently compared to other Americans? That shouldn't be the case. I would like to, definitely call out on our decision makers in the U.S., our politicians, or our presidents, the White House office, as well as the Senate and Congress, to negotiate the release of Mr. Gonzalo Lira before any other further support is provided to the Ukraine, a country that is not directly connected to the U.S. With that said, thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. My name is Mina. I'm the Face Economics Concept author, the utilization of the social media platform and economic development worldwide. As you all know, my aspiration is to help other countries and also build relationship between the U.S. and other countries. But we will not stand for, a treatment that is significantly, unfair and intolerable when it comes to our citizens, especially if our citizen is simply wanting to voice their concern after they have reviewed a government system, a democracy. Because any country, regardless of their status in this world, should be able to be reviewed by anyone. Okay, I mean, look at the U.S. for example. Virtually every other country on this planet is attacking the U.S., for example. We haven't put any of their citizens in any form of, condition that would prevent them from, continuing to review us. We're open to being chastised. We're open to being, rebuked. We're open to being, accused of things that even, things that we haven't done. But we're okay with that. So why can't other countries, tolerate that kind of freedom of speech? It's a humanitarian issue. Okay, that's something that people should consider. With that said, this video blog might end just because the way that we are operating our video blog is we're just giving you, a heads up on things that we would like to talk about on our podcast, so that you would listen to our the complete segment of our podcast on your own time, and you can basically advance or rewind the conversation on our podcast. It's very simple to do, intuitive, and it gives you a lot of flexibility to listen to our podcast. With that said, my name is Al Mina. I'm the concept author of the Face Economics Concept and the Face Economic Podcast, where we review the overall situation of various markets around the world using the social media platform. So basically, we would look at the system and the overall trajectory of a marketplace and how they're utilizing the social media platform to incorporate their growth agenda in economic and attracting investors, tourism, and all sorts of infrastructure development using social media as a platform to promote their activities. Because everybody's basically gravitating towards a social media platform today, which makes perfect sense. And it also streamlines the process for most countries that typically don't have the means to advance their overall agenda without a platform such as a social media platform. With that said, thank you for watching. My name, and thank you for watching and listening to my podcast. My name again is Al Mina. And just in case we got cut off on our video blog, we will post our podcast on Spotify at the bottom section of this video blog, so you all can listen to the full podcast on this channel. With that said, so as I said previously, I'm trying to monitor, the situation and condition of Mr. Gonzalo Villar because he's not getting any form of, coverage in the U.S. market. I would think that, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and any other national news would want to inquire regarding his overall condition. I mean, irregardless, it's irrelevant, based out of what we feel about Mr. Gonzalo Ria, because I don't really know him personally. I don't know anybody that knows him personally that, doesn't like him, for example. I know some people have created their opinion about him based on what he's done in the past, which, everybody's got their, they're entitled to their own opinion. But as far as his security as an American citizen and, his overall condition as, a former journalist who wants to review and share his assessment about, a system of government should be allowed to do that. I mean, that's within the Charter of the United Nations. That's within the Charter of the U.S. That, as far as freedom of speech, that's within the Charter of major European Union member countries, where the European citizens are allowed to review each other's, country freely without any form of repercussion or reprimand, because in a free society, there's always going to be dissent. There's going to be, different views. There's going to be people that will not want to, just follow, a pre-existing condition. So I would definitely encourage Mr. Zalensky to please release Mr. Lira before the holiday season. Okay, folks. Well, thank you again for listening to our podcast. Try to keep this, podcast fairly short, just because I try to build up on, the subjects that I've covered in the past and create this, continuity regarding our topics and subjects. As you all know, I've written books on the use of the social media platform in economic development, the evolution of the marketplace as it pertains to the utilization of the social media platform. So I've written books on, using what I call the face economics effect, where, people and businesses, governments, and institutions are sharing their announcements, their messages, their overall agenda, projects, you name it, on their social media platforms. That in itself creates a very different dimension of economic development happening around the world, because it's readily available for people that subscribe to those face economics. For subscribe to those platforms, the social media platform. So it becomes fairly easy for them to get access to those information today versus in the past, where there isn't a streamlined process where people can get access to those kinds of material. Okay, so I'm gonna cut off the video blog on this channel, on our Face Economics TV channel on YouTube, and share the podcast link at the bottom section of the description on this particular segment from our YouTube, Face Economics YouTube TV channel. With that said, thanks for listening. My name again is Mina. Looking forward to continuing our conversation on our Spotify podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.